Dwight Eisenhower sort of this is Eisenhower's warning coming back to haunt us, in my opinion. He started out his speech by saying that prior to the present conflict, or their World War II, actually, it wasn't the present conflict any longer, but prior to World War II, this was his farewell address, by the way. This was in January of 1961, as Jack Kennedy was becoming president. Dwight Eisenhower was saying goodbye. And he had been president for 8 years, from 1952 to 1960, or from 1953 to 61, is from inauguration to leaving. And in his farewell address, he starts out by saying, we never had a permanent arms industry in the United States. During World War II, our domestic manufacturers were, we had to turn plowshares into swords. But now we have this permanent defense industry that came about as the result of the demands of World War II. And he says, we've got to concern ourselves with this. Here's Dwight Eisenhower.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
But then he continues in a very thoughtful vein here.
As we peer into society's future, we, you and I, and our government must avoid the impulse to live only for today, plundering for our own ease and convenience the precious resources of tomorrow. We cannot mortgage the material assets of our grandchildren without risking the loss also of their political and spiritual heritage. We want democracy to survive for all generations to come, not to become the insolvent phantom of tomorrow.
And this was basically, against massive military spending he was speaking. And he continues.
During the long lane of the history yet to be written, America knows that this world of ours, ever growing smaller, must avoid becoming a community of dreadful fear and hate, and be instead a proud confederation of mutual trust and respect. Together we must learn how to compose differences, not with arms, but with intellect and decent purpose.
Dreadful fear and hate, however, is what all the Republicans are calling for right now. Eisenhower ends with a prayer.
May we be ever unswerving in devotion to principle, confident but humble with power, diligent in pursuit of the nation's great goals. To all the peoples of the world, I once more give expression to America's prayerful and continuing aspiration. We pray that peoples of all faiths, all races, all nations may have their great human needs satisfied, that those now denied opportunity shall come to enjoy it to the full, that all who yearn for freedom may experience its spiritual blessings. Those who have freedom will understand also its heavy responsibility, that all who are insensitive to the needs of others will learn charity, and that the scourges of poverty, disease, and ignorance will be made disappear from the earth, and that in the goodness of time, all peoples will come to live together in a peace guaranteed by the binding force of mutual respect and love.
This was back when the President of the United States, the Republican President of the United States, talked about the binding force of love. I mean, it's a little different than today, right? It's a lot different than today. To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.